Welcome to episode 43 of the Sportscast podcast. This week we will go over the FA Cup weekend, and there are some belting games in that for you. A roundup of the Six Nations, and James looks forward to the Lumberjack World Championship. Gentlemen, hello.
Evening.
Hi, guys.
How are we?
Yeah, well, good. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. Jordan?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, thank you.
Good.
The sun's been out today. Of course we're okay.
Has it been out for James, though?
As what, sorry?
The sun being out for James?
No.
That's the big one.
No, it's been pissing down all day.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Well,
It's been sunny up north.
Yeah, it's been crap down here on the East Coast. It's been, drizzly.
Well, Jordan gets
awful.
Well, Jordan gets to envision that tomorrow, so...
Oh, you heading down this way?
I will be.
Oh, right.
Big weekend of sport. It's where do you start? I mean,
Have we just watched the most recent match just to finish?
I have. Yeah. Belter. Absolute belter.
Belter, I know. Like, talk about a slight anticlimax for the guy who scored the final goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing is as well, though, to take out of this game, it wasn't even the best game of the weekend.
No,
I don't think, but we'll come to that. But Man United probably underdogs at home. Come back and win the way they did.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a ball draw. I didn't see anything exciting happening in this game. I thought both teams would cancel each other out and just be happy to, take it easy
from 12 yards out. Yeah.
Yeah, but that normally extra time in a game is the most boring part of a football game because everyone's knackered. Everyone's just like, let's just take this to penalties. But that was a really, really good last 30 minutes of extra time.
Mm.
It was absolutely phenomenal, and it shouldn't have gone to extra time. That ball from Eriksen over to Rashford in the dying minutes of regular time, the touch he took in the box and he put a Nats Cop away from the post. It was unbelievable. But yeah, what a great part of extra time that was for me.
Yeah. And I think as well, from what I saw of it, I think it was the right result. I felt Man United just soaked the pressure up well and hit Liverpool when they needed to, and that's if you're doing that correctly, I think you can deserve a result.
Yeah, it was nice watching. Actually, it was like it was. I mean, I'm not going to say it was the United of old, but you could see little passages of play and the attitude of some of the players. It looked like United several years ago. You didn't see people throwing their hands up and complaining and bitching and whinging about everything. It was okay, Liverpool, you're going to do this, great, right? We're going to come back and we're going to do it better. And it was really, really good to see. As a neutral, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, the earlier game in the day as well, Chelsea-Leicester 2-2 until the 92nd minute.
It's unbelievable.
And Chelsea with 2 late goals.
By the way, just to touch on Chelsea, probably one of the best own goals I've ever seen.
Oh, what an own goal that was by Diasu, yeah.
I kind of get what he was trying to do. It was on the right, Chelsea's right wing. Like kicking, so left wing, kicking back towards his own goal. And I think he just kind of meant to lob it back to the keeper to kind of take a touch and play out from the back. But the keeper was sort of way off his line. In fact, almost at the edge of the 18-yard box, heading that way. So the actual motion of the goalkeeper was heading outfield. And it was just complete chaos. But
I think the little shove by the Leicester player on him when he's gone to pass it back, you can just see the Leicester striker just give him that little nudge in the side there, and I think that's what possibly threw it off course. But great goal.
The game for me of the weekend came in yesterday's FA Cup lunchtime kickoff. Wolves versus Coventry. I sat and watched this game. And I thought when Wolves scored twice in the 88, the 80th of minutes when they did, 83rd and 88, I felt really bad for Coventry because, to be honest, they dominated. They had the best chances. You can argue that they missed sitters or whatever, but they had 7 more shots on target and 2 more shots off. So they'd had 9 more shots than what Wolves had through the game. They just was taking chances, and to score in the 97th and 100th minute as well, to being 1-0 up, 2-1 down, to win 3-2. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And the right team won.
Was that 100th minute being extra time, or was that added time?
No, added time.
So this is what I have noticed more and more. I don't know whether there's been a rule change that's completely gone over my head. We're playing more and more added time. Is that because the fourth officials are told to kind of count the throw-ins and the rolling about on the floor time?
Yeah, and VARs as well.
They changed this, and was it the World Cup or Euros or something? Wasn't it a few years back?
World Cup, yeah.
World Cup, yeah, and it's kind of gone on from that, isn't it? And you're right. The idea is, if you're going to waste time by rolling around on the floor, holding your face when you've been kicked in the knee, then we're just going to add time on, get up, and get on with it. So
that rugby doesn't necessarily have a stop clock, but they play to 80 minutes and that's it.
Yes, so but the referee
stops the clock, though, doesn't he? Yeah,
stop the time.
Okay. I was going to say it's in your best interest to get up if you're losing, especially to get up and get on with it.
Yeah. Exactly. But that win has saw Coventry play Manchester United in the semi-final, with Manchester City playing Chelsea. So this will be a good opportunity for Man United to get some silverware now. Really good opportunity, because they're not really anywhere in the league. They're not. They're out of Europe, so this is their chance.
Potentially, though. So you've got City in the semis. You've got City into the quarters of the Champions League, and also, is it second in the Premier League still?
Yeah, by points. Yeah.
So potentially, and I know Man City haven't been as dominating as they have been in previous. Well, I say that they have. It's just that Liverpool and Arsenal have been equally as good. Yeah, keeping up.
Yeah, that's it. So they could go back-to-back trebles. That would be something to definitely shout about.
Back to the Champions League. Did you see the draw for the quarterfinals?
Yeah, I think again it's a little bit anticlimactic. Nothing really.
No, what Real Madrid and Manchester City is nothing really, with Eric Haaland on one team and Jude Bellingham on the other.
Yeah, but that when you get to this stage, you kind of they're the only games left. There's not a I'm trying to think of the way to put it. There's not a lower European team left, if you know what I mean.
So anyone who wins those, it's not a shock. There's no shock winners, is there?
Yeah, at the minute, and for what it is, Arsenal would be very viable winners of the Champions League this year. The only one probably outsider in there at the minute is Borussia Dortmund, because they haven't been in the Champions League a lot lately. So, but you'd put any of them, at the start of the season, they would be probably out of the 8 teams. You'd get 7 of them. You'd have said 7 of them at the start. So that's what I mean. Nothing real mouthwatery in there. Unlike the Europa League, that when you look at the draw, you've got Liverpool are playing, is it Atalanta in the next round, and then they get the winner. They potentially will face. They'll miss West Ham. So Liverpool will play Atalanta, and then they'll play Benfica or Marseille in the next round, and then AC Milan, Roma, Bayer Leverkusen, who are top of the Bundesliga. Those 3 teams are on the other side of the draw.
Speaking of Europa League, I was a little bit sad to see Rangers go out of the Europa League midweek as well. They were, it was 2-2, so they had 2 away goals, and it only finished 3-2 on aggregate to Benfica.
Yeah.
and they obviously went out. I'd have liked to have seen them held on for either away goals, which to me, I don't know your guys' opinion, but away goals is a bit of a cop out to me. I think we should scrap that and just play extra time penalties. But it's a bit of a sad time to see Rangers go out. They've done well this season, I think.
I unfortunately am on the other side of Glasgow, so I wasn't as dissatisfied. So, but whilst we're talking of Glasgow, Scotland pushed Ireland yesterday in the Six Nations for Ireland to win the Six Nations.
It was. I think it was odds on anyway from the beginning. I mean, It was a tricky England game last week, but even so, they've delivered.
Yeah. Did anyone catch much of the rugby at the weekend? I know you probably haven't, Jordan, but
no, been away.
James.
Well, I started watching the first game that was scheduled yesterday, and within about 25 minutes, I decided to turn the shit off. What an absolute piss poor performance by Wales.
The second half were better, but
but by that point, you're already, you're
chasing the game.
Point down. It's just the last 20 minutes they were better. Yeah, I mean, I know Wales were never going to light the world on fire during the Six Nations because they're very much in transition from losing a lot of their senior players, Alan Wynne-Jones, Dan Biggar, Lewis Rees-Zammit, people like that. George North has now gone, hasn't he? He's played his final game for Wales.
You've got Liam Williams that can't get pitched. He's in Japan. Josh Navidi's not playable. Toby Valatal's not playable. They're missing retirements and
they're missing 80% of their first team. You know what I mean? They are missing a massive amount, and they were never going to, do well. But I didn't think they were going to do this, Paul.
I think that was it. We weren't expecting much out of it, but we definitely was expecting. And you look at the glimpses of coming back against Scotland in the second half. Quite resilient against Ireland for patches of the game. With France, the game was tied until we made all the substitutions and well, 1 point in it. We didn't lose to Scotland, England by big margins, by a couple of points. But it was just such poor decisions in the game. Yeah. And I could sit here and talk about it for the next 3 hours, so I won't. But England losing out to a last-minute penalty against France. Coles saying it wasn't a penalty, but he didn't wrap his arms for me. He just dropped his shoulder. So, but people are doing that during games and getting away with it. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's been a very good Six Nations this year. And I think I recall at the beginning of the Six Nations, I think I said to you to watch Italy. And you laughed at me, which you probably had every right to laugh at me. But the Italians, 2 wins, or was it 3 wins and a draw? 2 wins and a draw?
2 wins and a draw, yeah.
It's their best Six Nations ever. I mean, drawing to France, beating Wales. They've just
beaten Scotland, who are probably Scotland's best team in 30 years.
Yeah.
So.
I think they've done really. I think it's been a really, really good Six Nations. I really do. I've enjoyed it. It's not been a complete runaway that we thought Ireland were going to do.
No, not with them losing last week to a very impressive England. So
So it's been very good. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It pisses me off when it happens once a year, but
unfortunately. But there's talks of having other tournaments now throughout the year and things like that. I'm not sure we should. There is obviously the summer internationals and the autumn internationals, which they're not to win anything, but Wales play South Africa in the summer at Twickenham, which I don't understand, but
maybe we'll see a Saudi league.
Probably they're probably drawing the contracts up now. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that'll cause a few headaches internationally as well. So. We don't really talk about it too much anymore, just because there's not been a lot going on. But there's one of the majors today, the day 4 of the Players' Championship. Yeah. Over in America, Rory McIlroy tied the course record on day 1 with 10 birdies, but has since dropped. And you've got Xander, Scheffler and Clark, top of the leaderboard, 17 under, with Scotty Scheffler, Lashley, Harmon and Matt Fitzpatrick trailing. So not a bad group of people at the top. Only 6 holes in today, the final pairing, so plenty of time for things to happen there. But we're not in a Ryder Cup year. There's not as much going on in the golf world. The whole Live Tour and everything else has gone a bit quiet. You know, the PGA Live merge.
Yeah.
That's all gone a little bit quiet. So it's just looking steady out there at the minute. Joe Joyce had a fight last night against Cash Ali in Birmingham, which he knocked him out in the 10th round. He was mandatory to fight Usyk before he lost to Zhang last time out. Tyson Fury's 9 weeks away from fighting Usyk. What do people think of that? Who's going to win that fight?
The hardest person.
The sad thing is, I don't think the hardest person is going to win that fight. Because I think Usyk's the hardest person. Yeah, I think Usyk is an absolute warrior. But I do think it's got Fury written all over it. There's not been anything else. No Formula One this weekend, Jordan. Are you going to be up next week for Australia?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Australia was one of the best races last year.
It's one of the best course, one of the best tracks. 4 a.m. race start.
Probably not. Actually, I did see that. So last year it was 6 o'clock. Was it 5 o'clock?
Usually 5. Japan. I think Japan was 5.
Yeah, I know it was early last year, but this year it seems to be particularly early. I don't know. It's still in the first half of the calendar versus last year, so I don't know why it's so early. But no, I'll be putting it to record and then watching it. I'll watch it at 6 a.m., but I'm not getting up at 4.
Unfortunately, I will be.
Oh my God, not through choice.
Yeah, probably. I do. Okay. I do like to get up and watch it.
Just one very small piece of Formula One news. It is actually that Alpine, who've had an absolutely atrocious start to the season, scoring nil points in the first 2 races. Both cars finishing outside the points with a retirement as well. So really, really, really atrocious start for those who actually finished 5th in the championship last year. Sorry. 6th in the championship last year, sort of top of the back markers, if you like. They have completely overhauled their technical team. I don't know what that means. I don't know whether they've just gone in and sacked a lot of them.
But they have.
Have they?
Yeah, the few have left.
Wow. So, apparently they've overhauled their technical team, completely overhauled the technical team. So that means basically they've sacked them all, basically.
Yeah.
But then again, what happened to McLaren last year? McLaren last year started off extremely poor. They started off back markers. They started off like not being able to get a car to finish, never mind to score points. And they turned it around by 3/4 of the way through the first half of the season. So there is time for Alpine. They've got a lot of investment. They've got a lot of money from the new kind of conglomerate of celebrities that are invested into them, which will obviously want to see some return for the sponsorship money and the investment. So we'll see what happens with those.
Yeah. Next week there's no soccer. It's the international break. Thursday night you've got Wales hosting Finland in the Euro qualifying.
Gibraltar, Cyprus, that's a game.
This is what I mean. This is where it gets really good, isn't it? Algeria, Bolivia. It's some absolutely belting games out there.
I don't know if I'll be able to contain my excitement.
The only good thing that might come out of this is Saturday's England versus Brazil, but it is a friendly. There's not going to be a lot going on. So,
well, as friendlies go on Saturday, for me, the one is Azerbaijan and Mongolia.
I don't know.
Are they friendly? Not the Azerbaijan one, but is the England-Brazil one because those two have already qualified?
It'll just be a PR stunt. It'll just be who's available at these times. Half of the players play in the Premier League, so that's it. There's not a lot going on Sunday. Ecuador, Italy, and then Monday is the big one: Tanzania against Mongolia. It is a con, isn't it? And then Tuesday friendly, England versus Belgium. So
have you noticed now that Russia is the football union of Russia?
Well, that's because they've still been banished, haven't they, from competing at things. So we've got an Olympics this year, so it's going to be interesting to see what they're allowed to do. Because I don't think they're still banned around the doping things. I'm not sure that's still
generally what happened at the snowboarding Olympics or the Winter Olympics and the last lot of athletics championships was they're allowed to compete as individuals. They're allowed to compete as basically a white flag nation. So
they compete under like the Olympic flag, don't they, or something?
Yeah, they can compete for their own individual gratuity and their own individual kind of to get a gold medal if they're good enough. But still, obviously, subject to all the doping restrictions and that. But they're not under the Russian flag.
So, but WADA in 2019, before that happened, there was a 4-year suspension from all sporting events. It later introduced to 2 years. So they can technically compete as Russia at this year's Olympics. And here there's still a number of Russians that are set to compete as neutral, but there's nothing stopping Russia competing as a nation in the Olympics. So we'll see what happens there. I love an Olympic year, mate. Absolutely love.
Do you know what I do? I love the Olympics.
Where is it hosted this year? Is it the Americas or is that
Paris?
Ah, cool. So it'll be a reasonable time for us.
Yeah. Thankfully, I like to watch a lot of the hockey. I like to watch a lot of the men's beach volleyball. And
well,
there's no point. Trying to say women's beach volleyball. It's I don't think they may actually play beach volleyball, do they?
I have no idea. I'm on the women's channel.
I don't know. I've never been interested in it, Liam.
No, I just tried not to look sexist, but then I guess I could be inclusive and anyway, it.
Yeah, I enjoy the Olympics for watching the sports that you wouldn't normally watch, like judo and the weightlifting, and things like that. I wouldn't ever sit there and go, "God, let's watch the judo." But when it's on in the Olympics, I really get into it.
To be completely honest, no, it's not the Summer Olympics, but every 4 years, I get absolutely obsessed for 4 whole weeks with the men's and women's curling team.
Oh my
God! Absolutely love it for 4 weeks straight, and then I don't watch it for 4 years.
Well, Jordan, that's funny you mentioned that because a few weeks ago I mentioned an obscure sport, didn't I? The ballooning. I don't know if you've caught anyone, but but on curling, they actually play that in the Urals in Russia, and it's used with cars. They find a frozen lake, and you have up to 10 big Ruskies pushing cars down the lake, and it's basically curling. I mean, I'd love to see the size of the bloody broom they use, but they actually play that in Russia. They push cars down the ice.
I'd like to see Eve Muirhead and co. play that in Scotland.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's a different. Why can't they just use normal stones? Why just put it to cars? Yeah,
because they're all pissed up on vodka, probably.
Yeah, true. Any other random sports that have come across your way, James?
Well, I bumped into it a couple of months ago. I bumped into watching it, and I've I bloody love it. I don't know why, but I find it fascinating.
I think I know where you're going with this.
The Lumberjack World Championship.
No, that's not where I thought you were going with it.
No, that's not where anybody thought it was going with it.
No, the Lumberjack World Championship. It is bloody brilliant. It is. I don't know why. I just get mesmerised by it. And
is it just in Scotland or is it?
No, it's predominantly like Canada, the United States, places like that, and it's there's several disciplines, but they're soaring, chopping, log rolling, and climbing,
and dungaree wearing.
And flannel shirt wearing, and absolutely, absolutely. But it's competed by both men and women. So, I mean, these are the type of men and women you wouldn't want to come across in a back alley. But yeah, if you do get on YouTube or you stumble across it, I find it fascinating.
Well, do you know what? I actually think it's on Sky Sports Showcase this afternoon.
Well, yes, but this year is the 64th annual event, August 1st to August 3rd, coming out of Hayward, America. So that'll be, that might be the day that it is on Sky Sports.
I have just added
it. It's on my calendar. I'm jotting it down because I love it. I think it's brilliant how they do it.
There is an art to it. There's no two ways about
it. Absolutely, there's an art to it.
Everything's skillful. Like cutting in when you're painting, skillful, but it shouldn't be on fucking telly.
Well, should it not? Should it not?
Talking about sports that shouldn't be on telly, did you see Luke Littler hit another 9-darter last week?
Yeah.
The record sits in a season at 4. He's hit 3 so far this season.
He's just mint, isn't it? Like maybe it's kind of what's the word? Like the Luke the nuke train, like the motivation, everything's just pushing him on. Like he's on a high, he's on form, or maybe he's just really good.
I'll be honest. I hope it's not momentum. I hope he is just that good.
Mm.
So, anyway, gents, we are going to have a bumper week next week with the internationals. So. Let's save ourselves, and hopefully we can talk about. I've definitely got an obscure sport that James knows where I'm heading with that one, so we'll delve into that a bit more next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Take care.
Sounds good.
Take care, gents. Have a good week.
And you guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Sportscast podcast. As normal, you'll get us on our social media, Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, @SportscastPod UK. Join us again next week.